I'll do the intro.
Hit it.
I'll make this happen. All right. Okay, folks, we're taking a look at Nomadland. Here's the log line. After middle-aged widow Fern, played by Frances McDormand, loses her job, she packs up her belongings into a cargo van and becomes a modern-day nomad, looking for work in post-Great Recession America. It's, as it says, it's written by Chloe Zhao, written and directed by Chloe Zhao. It's based on the book Nomadland, Surviving America in the 21st Century by Jessica Bruder. Stars Frances McDormand. It also stars David Strathairn, Linda May, Charlene Swankie, Bob Wells, Derek Andres, Peter Spears, and Tay Strathairn. Interesting note, everybody, Linda May, Charlene Swankie, Bob Wells, all in the movie, are all actually the real people that were that the reporter who wrote the book met in this scene, in this van scene. So they're actually playing themselves.
Right.
So that's there's the intro to the movie.
That's the movie. And
shall we get to the? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm walking all over you today. Yeah, absolutely. And folks,
good.
This is the LeftFLIX Chill show with Rob Kristjansson and myself, iDanSimpson. Of course, this is the no spoilers leftist review show. No one asked for, but you can't live without. We record live, post to YouTube later, and we ask 3 central questions. Does the film pass the Bechdel test and others? Does the film have class consciousness? And do we think the film is worth your time? Your questions for myself and Rob encouraged along the way in the chat if you're watching live. And to support the show, you can give me your money on the internet. Yeah, it's that simple.
I'm a supporter. I'm a subscriber.
Thank you, Rob. You don't have to do that.
Why shouldn't you be?
You're helping me.
I think about like 3 months or something now.
Yeah, thank you. Love your face. Really appreciate that monthly support.
Giving you several Canadian dollars.
Hey, that's similar to a U.S. dollar, but thank you.
It's almost actually. I was on somebody else's chat.
Yeah,
threw in some money. He had gone through one of those where his channel had been hijacked. He was out of action for like a month. 6 weeks or something. Like, I mean, you can imagine, like, by that point, it was the guy's income.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was in a bind. And so I threw in some money. He did some big welcome back chat. Had a lot of guests. Threw in some money. He's like, oh, well, I have a whole bunch of Canadian dollars. And all I'm thinking is,
oh, my God, dude.
What a prick. What a dick. It's like, I'm giving you my money.
Yeah.
Jerk. Anyway.
Sorry about that. I just did the same thing.
Oh, no. I started this one. You and I, my friend, can give. And that's the thing, right? You know what? Giving each other the gears, we know each other. We're friends. Internet friends, but friends nonetheless.
Yeah, it's earned.
Exactly. You know, I know it's coming from a good place. This individual is like, all right, well, I can't get that money back, but unsubscribe.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
So I guess digital, the snack table, the intellectual snack table, eh?
Start asking our questions here. Yeah. Bechdel?
I think so.
Okay.
Bechdel test
time. If I can.
Kicks its ass.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's
two women talk.
Lots. And that I want to make sure people understand. Yeah, crushed it is the right way. Two women talk lots. It's naturalistic. Like it's not just one scene. It really is. It's a woman-centered film without, you necessarily thinking, oh, this is a woman's film. It is. Do you know what distinction I'm trying to make?
Yeah.
And as far as the reframe stamp,
okay.
I don't like, I mean, they always give it out on an annual basis. I'm sure this one earns it.
Yeah.
It's got a woman of color as a director, Chloe Zhao, who's actually a Chinese American, and you got a woman as the star. Like, I mean, it really is Frances McDormand's picture. So yeah, they'll get that as well.
Right. Then
on the
class conscious number 2.
Well, first
I'm sorry,
of all,
I don't want to skip ahead. Yeah.
Oh no! This
trying to read your mind.
No. This is I got a couple of comments under this.
All right.
Number 1, it's not a union-made film, which hooks into the second part. I would argue that it is not a class-conscious film. It actually has a false, what Marx would call false consciousness, and we can get into more of it later. But I think, from my perspective, Carl is not even sad, pissed.
I think I agree. Without giving too much away, Frances McDormand gets a little involved in some of the gig economy, working for Amazon. How are you not gonna bring that into the conversation, at least for a moment?
The link I sent you may be me, and it's a little long, but I think it's worth showing it in its entirety. There's no spoilers, or if there are, there's a couple of small ones. But before we get there, or maybe we should watch this video, and then we can get into, is it worth your time, or do you want to do that first? What do you think?
Let's do the video. It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. All right.
It's a bit of a rant. There may be an F sharp, or at least a bullshit.
Fucking bullshit. All
I
right,
was
here we
a
go.
little pissed.
And away we go.
I need to rant.
Here it comes.
I need to rant. I need to rant.
It's a hot take coming.
Oh, more than one.
Yeah.
Although there's a part of me, there's a part of me thinking this isn't, in a way, here's my effing hot take, you guys. As far as I'm concerned, this movie is kind of a disturbing hot take on, this mythologizing and romanticizing of poverty and of disconnection, of human disconnection. And this is, I think, Katie, where you and I finally overlap on our view of this character. It's like, this is not a woman to be praised.
Go into
hot take.
The effects.
Yeah, I agree.
What bothers me so much about this film, guys, is, which is why, it's such a good movie, but to strip it, and you got to remember, some of these characters, like Linda May, Amazon specifically, let's just talk about Amazon alone. Linda May, Swanky, they're quoted in Bruder's book as saying, yeah, we're basically a mobile, disposable slave workforce for Amazon. They break bones, they get hurt on the job, and they're effed. And the filmmakers decided, no, what we really need to do is just let's look at this one woman who's discovering herself as a nomad, like this is some noble pursuit. And it's like, you're amongst a bunch of people who are suffering. And if they, even when Strathern gets sick, what is it, ventriculitis? Diverticulitis, thank you. And there's a part of me going, how did he pay for that?
Apologies for that minor spoiler.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Come on. How many of these people, when they get hurt, Swanky with her broken wing, and it's like, yeah, you're hooped. And even she's nagging, there's that great, it's a great character moment. You gotta be self-reliant. You gotta be able to take care of yourself. And it's like, you're not in the Wild West. This isn't the Oregon Trail. This is a modern country. Still the richest country on the planet, and there they are shitting in buckets. And no analysis. No, not once. There's
Not a word.
hint. 20 minutes in, Bob Wells kind of starts talking about market forces, and then, we got to lean into it. And all I'm thinking is, I'm not hearing either he's an idiot, and I don't think he is, but we're not hearing him actually, somebody who's gone, as part of this scene, kind of analyzing why they're there. I find it hard to believe that not one conversation amongst these people was like, yeah, corporate America ditched us. We're doing this. And in part, even a cultural critique, to go to what you were talking about, Katie, in these choices she's making, a chunk of them is character, like, unique to, say, Fern. But some of that is also that BS, accept no help, you can't take help. Help comes with strings, and then it means you've given up and all that other stuff. Because, there's a moment, are you giving up on me? No. And that's kind of, these are the things that are, this whole idea of you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps is celebrated, I think, in this movie in a disturbing way. Like, this is the meta narrative, the real meaning of the goddamn piece. With these people that are obviously not thriving and pulling themselves, they're barely getting by. They're gracefully degrading. These people die in their vans. They die.
That was on my A game.
Are you going to hit me with a DMCA? Is that how you take out your competition, Rob? I just realized this. Oh my gosh.
It's kind of, we're given a hint.
I'm looking at you. I'm watching you, Rob.
That will take them in, and I'm like,
playing your content on my channel.
I'm not sure about that. It's almost like it celebrates the disconnection. It celebrates the atomization of family and of community. No comment whatsoever. No comment of how did the whole town disappear in 6 months? Right, because it depends on one employer who probably had to be coaxed in there. How is it that this woman who sounds like she's worked at regular jobs for a number of years has no savings? Is it perhaps because her husband was sick and she had to take care of him and that sucked all the savings?
Yeah.
All she's got left are, senior citizens benefits, and she can't do early retirement and.
Missing.
No discussion of it. And yes, it's a character piece, but I think you can do
totally missing
within a context, but to ignore it is actually to do the character a disservice. Why is she the way she is? If you don't even hint at it, I gotta call bullshit on this movie. And there's a part of me that thinks some of the reason they're not criticizing people, yes, this rant continues. And here's another hot take. Heck, I want to hear the hot take. Here's another hot take for you. I really do believe the reason Amazon is never criticized, that the best they can do is good money, which is bullshit. It's the opposite of good money. Oh, good money. What, they pay for your $300 a week? $300 a week to park in a shitty lot. Park your van in a lot. That's company store pricing. Yeah. They pay for that. Who cares? They're bullshit camper force crap, which is a real thing, and I will link this in not the description because I only found out about it today, folks. Bruder, the woman who wrote the book, this is a movie is inspired by, based on, however you want to describe it. She actually did a 16-minute short film about camper force. Well worth the watch. The link will be pinned in a comment later. Okay, anyway, but here's my hot take.
I'm going to send you that link right away.
Yeah, let's get that.
I think Zhao played especially soft on Amazon because they really wanted that shot. And there's my hot take. They wanted to be in that.
Right.
They wanted.
I'm sorry, keep going here.
To be in that location. It was important to them to be in that location. Amazon is important to these people, this camper force. And it's like, well, we can't criticize them. And we really want the shot.
Yeah.
Damn it, that deserves another hot take.
And what streaming service did you watch this on? It wasn't Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
What was it for you?
It was Disney.
What?
Oh, you watched it on Disney. Wait, I have Hulu. Is that the same? Is that different?
I think they're owned now all by the same conglomerate, aren't they? Or no, it's NBC
gosh.
Universal, but here in Canada it was on Disney.
Okay.
Go to my
Hold on.
hot take.
Back to the hot take.
Even Disney, because you look at if you look at Disney's log line, I did not use it. I wrote my own, like cobbled together from, I always take a bit of inspiration from IMDb and that, but they're like, a story of resilience and hope. What hope? This is Katie, to your point, she ends up still alone in a crappy van, slightly better, more competent being
little spoiler
on the
there.
road. And I don't want to strip the woman of agency, of being okay with that life. And some of these people, heck, you ask anyone, hey, what's good about your life right now? You go into one of those fucking modern day Hoovervilles, they're going to go, well, I do like this. I like this. I like this. Notwithstanding this one character who probably would say, oh, and I'll keep doing this no matter what changes. Every other one would probably go, oh, no, if I could get just a regular gig and a stable gig that managed my PTSD, I could get proper health care out of, the vast majority of them would. You're asking people in a stress situation, what do you like about it? Not, I saw one interview where the guy starts with, I always found the road romantic. It's like, I wanted to reach through the YouTube screen and just wring the fucker's neck. So this is why. And then on top of it all, to use a non-union crew, to not pay these people a union wage. You're going to make good money. The good money is being made by
They probably saved the money so they can hire a really expensive cinematographer. He was beautiful.
A lot of people off this
really well
movie.
shot.
And all of it, like right now, if they decide to, out of the kindness of their hearts, share residuals with these people, these non-actor actors, just not fucking buying it. They're going to be screwed like most actors get screwed. Oh, you got 1% of the net profit, which means nothing. If this was a SAG after gig, those actors, because they did the job, they would be paid the rates and get the residuals. Heck, for a brief bit, they'd have access to fucking health care.
Yeah.
I was angry.
Part of the problem.
I love it.
Shit.
You brought it.
Which is, now there you go. This is why I've been holding back for
and we could stop
a
here,
while.
okay, man.
Okay. Awesome.
I mean, there's more hot takes. Visit my channel.
Yes.
You can get it all.
Folks, here's the link for Rob's channel. Really good. And I like how you doubled up. You already did the talk. Just let me play it. I like that.
It was.
I'm happy doing it. Yeah.
I was steamed.
Yeah.
I was, and I got on a roll, right?
I loved it.
And it's a very good film, and that's something that we had talked about around, and this is, and I guess we're at that is it worth your time moment, and I struggled with this because it's a well-done film. Like you said, it's beautifully shot. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. There's a character arc. It's a low arc, but there's an arc. But for myself, I think it's only 2 times I've done this where I said the movie is good, but I can't say it's worth your time. But this one, it was a lot easier. But it's like, I cannot bring myself to say it's worth you to recommend it because it's such it's such a cynical movie. There is, and I sent you everything on Discord, a link to the a short film on Camper Force, which is a real thing. Amazon provides these people, these nomads, these poor migrant laborers, these elderly migrant laborers, a subsidy for their campgrounds And that's what they do. They travel around seasonally, of course, helping out Amazon at minimum wage, and they get a discount on their campground. Who fucking cares? And it is like you'd mentioned it earlier. There's van life, but how can I put this? Van life. We see van life on YouTube, and it's always two disturbingly attractive, healthy young people in $100,000 conversion. That's like stunning, right? Yeah. This is how it. The one thing I will say for the film is it does show it how it really is. Most of these things are, real DIY jobs. They're shitting in buckets. This is no compostable toilets. This isn't fancy, you know? I couldn't, man. I can't in good conscience recommend it, especially using a non-union fucking crew.
Yeah.
You pieces of shit.
Dang, dude. Okay.
So there you go. I get, don't get me wrong. Like Katie felt she could recommend it. Jim at the beginning had recommended it. Like I'm not, no judgment. However you want to roll, man. I'm more talking for myself.
Of course, no, of course. As you know, we've disagreed in the past, and we don't hesitate to do that. It's fine, you know. There's no right or wrong answer, but I will note that you do have a wrong answer this week, Rob. And we're I'm going to be on the record as disagreeing with you again, except this is the first time we've been on this side of the coin where you've said no and I've said yes. Yeah. So I liked it. It was it took me a while. Let me try to tell you. I mentioned earlier that it took me a while to watch it, and here's why. I failed the first
story
2 or 3 times. Pulled it up on Hulu, watched it with my partner one evening, and it was sort of my bedtime. I was a little tired, maybe, and I fell asleep right there, maybe 30 minutes before the end of it. And I didn't quite finish. And I was like, okay, how am I going to finish this? And this is one of the reasons I kept pushing it back, Rob, is I tried pulling it up again, and we went back maybe 10 minutes so I can give myself enough to remember, and I swear I'm out 10 minutes later. I'm already falling asleep. Okay, then that was a couple days back, and then this morning I'm trying to watch it on my girlfriend's phone because that's the only place we have Hulu because of a friend. Never mind. That's beside the point. Hipster cable, but trying to watch it on her phone, and it kept telling me turn the device on and off, and it wouldn't let me watch it. I couldn't scroll forward. I was this fucking close to giving up, Rob. I was so close, and at that point, I would have said no.
Did you push through?
I pushed through. I watched the end of it, and I don't know what happened. I'm sort of like maybe an easily moved guy, but I was moved. It something moved me. It reached me, and I was really taken. And one of the things that I have to note, the cinematography was just stunning, and it made me think to myself, holy shit, I'm watching this on a phone, and I'm realizing that what would this have been like in the theater? I bet these shots would have been great, and probably would have reminded me of some of my time on the road. But I think it's a yes. It's not an especially hard yes. I'm not waving the flag of Nomadland out on the corner, as it were. But I think if you pulled it up, you might like it. But for me, it was a very slow burn, and it honestly took me till the very end to go, okay, this is good. This is good. This is worth suggesting. It's worth a shot, and I do hope you watch it if you do take my suggestion. And if you don't like it after taking my suggestion, I'm really sorry. I did. It
is a good movie.
It's good.
It's as a film, properly constructed, tells an interesting story. You're right, a slow burn. I got comments. I'm wondering, Dan, I did get comments on my channel, some other film reviewers, in my YouTube scene, and where they were talking about how they found it was boring. And myself, I was like, I was too mad to be bored. That said, there was a part of me. It is, like you said, it's a slow burn. It's a low arc kind of film. It's more cyclical. It's got like it follows the seasons, right? And I'm wondering if some of it is that they're definitely younger. The closer you are, like I'll be 54 in 2 weeks. So there's a part of me who's has a little more personal interest in the context of people up against what would be called retirement age, but that a lot of, especially the right wing, it's like, well, maybe you got to work for the rest of your life. And that idea of there is no break. There's no, I was just more naturally engaged in, especially as we go through yet another recession, because that's what we're going through now. We will not magically, where I suspect, even after we're all vaccinated, everything's back to a post-COVID normal, whatever that looks like. I suspect it will not look like the economy pre-COVID. It's going to take years to recover from this. And so how many other people are going, well, I guess I'll be shitting in a bucket in a van soon,
Ooh.
And that's engaging, right? The older you are, the more you have an established life, that you start to think, I might be watching my future life. I should pay attention. What do you think?
I don't know. I think that sort of fits a little bit into the theory that this movie fits in a universe with Mad Max, and that those were just guesses. Those were prophecies, and sooner or later we'll all be living out of our van, living in a van down by the river.
Scraps.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the life our parents warned us against, but we're hurtling towards it because of them.
Down by the river. I want to adjust my belt.
So I think one thing I do want to note as well. Yes. One thing I do want to note is the town in which Frances McDormand's character Fran lives is called Empire, and because of neoliberal policies, over the course of 6 months, it crumbles. And I don't know if it's based on a real town, I'm assuming, but there's probably countless towns like that.
It really did lose its zip code by July. January, plant shuts down. July in the same effing year.
Holy moly.
The whole town to the four winds.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, actually, no. Can you imagine? Of course you can. We see it regularly now. Yeah, like you said, due to neoconservative policies.
We say neoliberal, but I don't know. Is that a Canadian thing? Do y'all see it?
No. Okay. No. Neoliberal.
They're the same.
I find them interchangeable.
They're the same. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we were speaking the same language here, Rob. Yeah, so obviously that's another spot where it's just like, what the fuck? How do y'all miss that opportunity for analysis? It's almost like they were intentionally avoiding it. It gets weird, dude.
I sent you, that was actually a conscious choice on behalf of the filmmakers. I sent you a couple of links that you may want to share with your folks, with your chat. One is a Guardian piece, another is a great Vulture piece. And in Vulture, they actually talk about, it's funny, Claude Jouw says, well, we wanted more universal. Wanted this to be universal, whereas I guess the political component would make it only for 98% of the world that, could get wiped out through a couple of bad economic choices, So she actually refers to it in this Vulture piece. Her partner, the cinematographer, is also Claude Jouw's partner. He gets downright pissy about it. He's go, well, I don't see you can read politics into anything, because I guess there's been a bit of pushback, mostly on the Amazon front, in that they don't really criticize them, but they don't praise them.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of leave it, well, that's up to you to interpret.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, you read politics and anything. We weren't. It's like, that's the guy I wanted to write. Like, no, it wasn't. I was watching an interview later of a guy interviewing both that Bob Wells, a real person, and the writer of the original book. And he's like, I just loved the movie. I've always found the road romantic. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot. This is your grandparents having to become migrant laborers.
Yeah.
It's not appropriate labor for ununionized, abused, undocumented immigrants. It's not appropriate labor for your grandparents.
Dude.
It's just fucking wrong.
Yo, this is honestly one of the more disappointing movies we've watched in that sense. But go on, yes.
Yeah, in the politics. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, it earns the Neo-Lib Award, right?
It's
Neo-Lib Award. I'll put a graphic on this.
You need an emote. You need a graphic.
Something
for that.
will.
Yes.
Yeah. This one is
That's
top of the
man.
list so far. Well, we maybe we'll be able to look back at the end of the year, and this is definitely a nomination. How about let's do that at the end of the year. The most neo-lib fucking movie. Like, how do you miss the point that badly?
Right now, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they consciously chose to miss the point. They made a conscious decision to do that. Mm-hmm. Another thing, here's another interesting note. I think it's in the Vulture article, but it may be in the Guardian one. Part of it is also, like, my understanding of the development of this picture, Frances McDormand and one of her producers, they bought the rights to the book. They interviewed Claude Zhao. So Claude Zhao was hired to write and direct this gig by Frances McDormand. But there's a quote in the piece where Frances McDormand, I guess when she was turned 40, she's like, my fantasy life is to buy an RV, smoke Lucky Strikes, drink whiskey, and just be on the road. That's a rich person's fantasy. I believe I may have made reference to, I'm going to be a hobo and live life out on the road. And it's like, you're fucking rich. You can have that's a nice ride. You're going to be in one of those $100,000, $150,000 houses on wheels. Never worrying about gas. You will never be shitting in a bucket.
Right.
When you feel like a break from the road, the hotel will be nice. And I think that's a problem. This is why I'm so glad when Jim and I started this, because we may not have, I may not have really gotten into the meat of the politics of this piece if we hadn't already started at the beginning going, does this have a working class consciousness? This is why we need to ask this of our films. Mm-hmm. And then when we look into it and we go, well, Claude Zhao, she was born, her father is a rich business person in China. So she grew up in wealth. Frances McDormand looked like she was poor, but she hasn't been poor in decades. Her and her husband have been making movies. Joel Cohen been making, killer movies for effing decades, right? Yes, Joel Cohen.
That blew me away.
Joel Cohen.
Yeah, Fargo.
So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, like
and now she's graduated to Cargo Vans. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, so there's this is what happens when rich people make movies about working class people. They make it universal. Because to them, if it doesn't directly relate to them, it's not universal. And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Way to miss the point.
But at the same time, the performances are stunning. Whether they be from real actors, trained actors, or the real people playing themselves. It's good. Frances McDormand is good. Chloe Zhao made a good movie.
Got to push back on that point, only because, like, when you mentioned to me that the people in the film, at least a couple of the people in the film, were people who were the actual people that were interviewed for the book and were pretty much the source material, I sort of felt like I was going to point out to you that Frances McDormand was great. The guy that played the other part opposite her, David Strathairn, who we've seen before. I can't remember what, but I thought they were great. I honestly think everyone else was sort of like, and especially some of those characters, and I think especially those characters, it sort of felt like,
really?
where the fuck did they? I was gonna talk shit about the casting, but now that makes sense, and now I'm not so mad about the casting.
And that maybe that's why I like it better than you did. I knew going in,
okay,
who they were, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why they went with it. Has the whole picture has a documentary feel to it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple moments where it's like, there's no spoiler here. There's a moment around a fire, and the way these people are talking, you got to go, that's what they just said. Tell me your story, just like a documentarian would. And they just let the people tell an apolitical part of their story, much like, God damn it, I can't stop ranting about this film. Even this is what drives me nuts about this kind of reporting. It's you and I, let's say, sufferers of capitalism. We get to talk about what we've lost. We get to talk about our feelings about that, but we're never asked, okay, who do you think the bad guy is here? And why do you think that is? Mm-hmm. That's rarely, it almost always, cut to talking head expert who discusses the economy, who becomes more objective, and we kind of see this here, like, except that there isn't even a cutaway to the neoliberal economist. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm just fiscally conservative. I'm not socially conservative, like most big name reporters are. It's like, I make $1 million a year. I have an opinion on the capital gains tax.
Of course you do. Yeah. Great shit.
Rent.
Well, what else do we have to mention about this movie? Yeah. Just like checking my notes here. Yeah.
If you watch it, it is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Good rhythm. Like we've mentioned, it's beautiful frame to frame. It seems, what is that test where like every frame is just like spectacular? I don't know.
Every frame a painting.
Every frame a painting. I wonder if it would pass that test. I really do. And I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Sort of the angle that I'm coming at that. So beautiful, nice, like simple music. If I remember correctly, it's just sort of like a sparse piano music along the way.
Fair really bit of that
lends to Frances McDormand being a sympathetic character, and to an extent she's sympathetic. I'm not sympathetic to the storytellers because it just feels like they really ripped out. They just did the neoliberal thing. They sort of deliver you to the point where they demand of you to ask the question, who is the bad guy here, right? But they don't do it. They don't ask the question. They just sort of like drop you off at the corner and just leave you alone. And I'm like, wait, hold on. All you had to do is connect a dot or two.
They turn it into a story of personal growth and realization. Yeah. Not to say that that's illegitimate and that you can't have that component within this film. I suspect there are people within that world, that are actually kind of going, where I could do this for the rest of our lives, honey. I suspect there are, but I do. The rest are like, boy, really am sick of shitting in a bucket.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. Well, I'm gonna insist we move along here and talk about what we're doing, what you're doing next week. What's going on there, Robbie?
We're throwing an Oscars watch party, 7 p.m. Central Time, And it's myself and a few other fellow YouTube reviewers. I've even set up, and if you, I will send you a link in a second to the actual to the actual show link. But what's important here, well, important to me, is that we are going to be. Bear with me, my friend. I can barely do two things at once.
I got the links for the And the Winners Art contest, and I just dropped that in the chat.
Cool. Here's the link to the watch party show, and that also has a link to the So if you go to that link, you'll be able to enter in your own guesses.
Yeah, guys.
And you can even change them. We're gonna have a point scoring system. There may be a $10 Amazon gift card you could win because I love irony. We are, but yeah, we're going to do a bit of a contest. We're going to have trivia. We're going to make fun of this stuff because here's the thing about the Oscars. It is a night where a lot of rich people give each other golden statues, as Cody once said online. And it's also something worthy of making fun of. It is a big pop culture moment. And we'll talk about some of the reality of the Oscars while having some fun at it and making a bit of a contest at it. Because, oh God, the Oscars is not a way to decide what is good or not. Too many Oscar films, Oscar Award winners, you forget. Too many folk that never even got, Do the Right Thing, never got even nominated. So no one should ever look at the Oscars as some sort of arbiter of good taste. It's more of an arbiter of safe taste so that Hollywood can keep making money. So turning it into more of a friendly game of what are these 5,000 rich people going to do? How are they going to vote? Is far more entertaining. So anyway, we're going to do that. The week after that, we get back into a regular grind. So you and we can talk about that next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's. You know what? Let's take a week off.
Season 2.
Unless you want to, you can change your mind. If you want to talk about after the awards, editorialize on some of the choices, have some fun with that. More than happy to come back, but we can take a week off too.
All right,
whatever you want to do, baby.
All right, babe. Well, I guess that's that, folks. That was the show for today. LeftFLIX and Chill with Rob and Dan. Rob, a lot of fun to talk to you as always.
Thanks for letting me monopolize your channel for an hour. I appreciate it, brother. This was fun.
My pleasure. All right. Peace and solidarity. All right. Okay. Hold on. It's okay. Nothing's fucked. Hey, YouTube. You're watching a clip from my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/iDanSimpson, where you can follow for free and subscribe for only $5 a month. Thanks for watching.